There are some things in this world that just go better together, right? Peanut butter and jelly, okay? Chocolate, peanut butter, any Reese's Cup fans in here, okay? So we get this idea that some things just are better together. Ecclesiastes chapter 4, verse 9 says this, that two are better than one, because together they get a better reward for their labor. Now, where am I going with this? Atlee has been in conversations with a church by the name of Northminster Church, or Northminster Baptist Church. Some of you may know it by that name. Back in the late summer, some conversation began to take place between a couple folks about the idea and the possibility of how we might be better together, what a merger would look like between Atlee and Northminster Church. And those conversations over the weeks and months that followed kind of escalated, and more people got involved in it, and it ended up leading to our leadership team meeting with Northminster's leadership team and talking about what this would look like, and praying about it and trying to determine if this was a direction that God was leading our two churches. And out of those times together, we formed a feasibility team made up of a few folks from their leadership team, as well as a few folks from Atlee leadership team. And we began to work through these 25 different points to consider as we merge. In other words, as we, what was it going to look like as we join forces? And, what would the worship style look like? What would the vision of the church look like? And so in working through all of that, we met this past Friday night. We brought the two whole leadership teams together to talk about what we had worked through to that point, where we felt like God was leading, and walked away from that meeting about 11 o'clock Friday night, believing that God was calling us to merge together, to become one church. And I know this has been going on for a while, and I've wanted to share it with you for a while, but haven't been able to because of the implications, especially of their church, because just to be honest with you, it's a much bigger deal for them than it is for us. And so today, Sammy Williams, their pastor, is unveiling this or revealing this to their whole congregation. While the leadership really believes that this is God's idea and God's plan, and Atlee agrees with that after working through some things with him, he's going public with that. And in doing that, that allowed us now to go public with that as well. And so the process will look like this for them especially. As Sammy reveals that to them, and their leadership reveals that to them today, that they believe this is where God is leading them, over the next 5 weeks, they'll have time to process it and ask questions, and they're going to have a bunch of meetings. I'm going over. Nelson is going over. We're going to be meeting with them and answering questions for them. And then on April 6th, they will vote as a body, as a church, whether or not that they collectively believe that this is the direction that God's calling them to go. And already early indications are that this is definitely what God is up to. And even this morning, after sharing it here with the first service and hearing stories, that there are people who are here who have connections with Northminster. Northminster, just to help you understand why this is a big deal for them, this church is over 100 years old. It was one of the biggest churches in Virginia at one point. And it may have been the biggest church in Virginia at one point. But because of a lot of different factors that have played into it, they're down to maybe 100 folks on Sunday morning. And they're really struggling. And they know that if they don't make some changes pretty quickly, that they're going to cease to exist. In fact, their pastor, Sammy, who I love greatly, has been pastoring there for 27 years, is retiring in a couple of years. And so all of this has kind of come together for them to try to figure out what is God saying to us as they move forward. And God led us into a conversation, and long story short, this is where we're at. And so there's a website or a page on our website that you can go to that will give you some more information about this that we've created for both of our churches, that'll give you a little bit more history to fill in how we got to this point, what the process is now, and what it looks like in the near future. It should be up there, atleechurch.org/merger, or you can just go to my website or my blog page, jeffboggess.org, and the same information is there. And I want to invite you and encourage you to go there and read that and just to be up to speed on that. But for them, it's a big deal because in this process, they're going to no longer cease to be Northminster Baptist Church. They will become Atlee Community Church, Northminster Campus, just like all of our other campuses. And so they're having to make some changes and adopt our way of doing things, and they realize that some of the ways that they've been structured have prevented them from growing and has caused some of that. And so they're excited about that. But at the same time, it's just like when we lose somebody or something that's close to us, that there's this grief process that you go through. And that's what they're going to experience. In fact, some of those leaders, as we early on started this conversation with them, they admitted that. Said, this is tough. This is hard for us to imagine. But as we met Friday night, in the midst of that grief, there was a celebration even from them as they saw what God was doing and what the future could look like for them once again as a church. Now, it's very humbling for us that God would ask us to come in there and partner with them and do this. And so I'm excited about that opportunity. It gives us some incredible opportunities to do ministry in the north side of Richmond and to partner with them. They've got some great things that are going on, and I think we'll be able to come in there and really equip them and empower them to do a lot of what we're already doing and to do what they're doing and take it to a whole new level. So if the vote were to go through, and all indications are that it will, that'll be on April 6th. They will celebrate Easter together as a church, and then this Sunday after Easter will be their final celebration Sunday as Northminster Church. And then we're going to close the campus down from May through September and go in and do some renovations. It's a huge facility if you've ever seen it. But they've got a beautiful sanctuary, all this stained glass, and they've not been able to use the sanctuary now for probably, I think, close to 10 years, at least 5+ years I know of. And so our goal and one of their dreams has always been to be able to get back into this sanctuary and do church there on Sunday morning. And we believe that together with them, we can make that happen. They're meeting in their gym right now that they've converted into a smaller venue to worship in on Sunday morning. We want to take and convert that gym, that space back into a gym so that we can use it to reach families and kids in the neighborhood who desperately need a safe place to come and hang out. So both of these things are going to be going on during that time period. We've invited them to come and attend services here, either here or at our West End campus during that time. And then August, we're going to, leading up to August, we're going to be creating a launch team. And this could involve some of you. In fact, some of the folks from the first service have already come up to me and said, hey, I want to be a part of this. And so we'll build a launch team that will connect, we'll join forces with them. And then in August, they will we'll do some Saturday night services with the launch team in preparation for that relaunch in mid-September over there. And so here's what I would ask that you do. I want you to be, Atlee's been down this road before. We've merged with another church. The Scottsville campus was a merger, a similar situation. And this is a much bigger deal. It really is. It's a church that's been around a whole lot longer. There's some folks there who have never attended church anywhere but there. So you can kind of imagine the mixed feelings that they have. But so we need to be praying for them. And over these next 5 weeks, up until the vote, that God just reveals to them and gives them some peace about what he is doing in the middle of all of this. And that when it's all said and done, that we really are going to be better together, and that they're going to be able to be the church that they so desperately want to be, because I believe God has great plans for them and for us as we partner with them. So I want you to commit to praying, and not only praying for them, but be praying and saying, God, what do you want me to do in this? God's going to tap some of you guys on the shoulder and say, one, want you to be a part of all the work that's got to take place over the summer to make this happen, to be able to launch there in September. But beyond that, I think God's going to tap some of you, just like he did in the first service already, and say, I want you to be a part of the launch team. I want you to be a part of the body of Atlee Community Church there at the Northminster Campus. And so I just ask that you pray that and see what God does. So you promise to do that for me? This is awesome. Yeah. It's an incredible opportunity for us as a church to extend our ministry and outreach to a world that so desperately needs God. So